'Tis the season to decorate the tree in our homes, and the finishing touch is the snow cream cones.
Oh my God! I was just at a Christmas store and these were $13 a piece. Here at Walmart, holiday time, $2.98. Merry Christmas! The huge snow-covered Christmas balls from Walmart inspired me to make some giant snow cream cones for my Tasty Treat Tannenbaum. So with some fabric, some yarn, some iridescent snowflakes, spray foam, and some traffic cones from the dollar store, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's get started. The first thing is to cut the corners off of my traffic cones. Look how good that looks. Proportionately, this is the perfect size. Next, cut a square of clear wrap to cover the bottom half of the ball. This is going to protect it from the spray foam. Now, cut another square and cover the cone's opening to protect the cone. Now take the ball and press it in to make the indentation where the ball sits. The next step is to use my insulating foam, big gaps and cracks. I get this at Walmart. I have this little cylinder that I got at the dollar store. The cone fits really nicely in there, so it'll serve as a stand while all of this dries. I'm going to go ahead and place my ball and get it ready. And now I'm going to apply some spray foam all the way around the edge. I'm pretty happy with the way that looks so far. After a little bit of time, the foam starts to get a skin on it. Just a few minutes really of curing. And that gives you time to sort of manipulate this a little bit. Here is my snow cream cone that I let dry overnight. It's time for me to peel it away and show you why I did it this way. Is because I wanted this to come off in one piece like it just did. That's because I want to be able to paint this. You could always paint these by hand using acrylic paint, but I'm going to be using this Design Master Color Tool spray paint. And now for some messy fun. Time to use some white glue, take a paintbrush, and I'm going to slather the glue on and the iridescent snowflakes. Time to start glittering. Now I'm gonna add just a little bit of gold glitter because there's just barely any gold glitter on the ball itself. But here is what this will look like when it's all dry and glued together. These are some red ornaments that I found at the hobby store. Start by cutting the lip of the ornament off. Then drill a 1/2-inch hole in what will become the bottom of the cherry. Next, mark the inside of the ornament for a 1/8-inch hole in the top for the cherry stem. Drill a small hole on opposite sides of the ball topper. I'm going to be using 12-inch pieces of my golden colored trim that I got at the hobby store. So I am now going to use a piece of craft wire that's 5 inches long. I'm just going to run that through both of the holes, twist it together, and make almost like a little V shape with the wire. And that is what I'm going to use to string my cherry stem through. So first I'm going to go ahead and knot this at the bottom. Pull that knot as far down and as tight as possible. Now I'm going to string it through and back through where the knot is. So this is how the cherry will actually hang. I need to thread it through my little cherry topper, and as I showed you earlier, I drilled a big hole through one end and a little hole through the other. I'm going to bring that down all the way around my lip where my wire is, and you can see how cute that looks on the top of my snow cream cone. I'm going to use yarn as a little bit of drizzle on the top of my snow cream cone. And this is going to be a very free form kind of thing. I just want it to look like a little bit of fun drizzle on top, the way they would do strawberry syrup or butterscotch or something like that. Isn't that fun? It's so pretty and so tasty too. But don't eat it. Here is a paper pattern that I made of my plastic cone for my snow cream cone base. And I traced that onto the back of the fabric that I'm going to use, and I cut all 6 of them out. This is a great chenille fabric that has a velvet look and feel to it, and I'm going to be embossing a pattern that looks a bit like a waffle cone pattern onto the right side of the fabric. I found a basket at the Dollar Tree. It's actually a small size laundry basket for $1.25, and I thought that the pattern in it was really quite perfect. It's not a very big basket, so I cut it apart, and I have matched up as best I could along this edge where the 2 pieces come together. I'm laying out my fabric face down, and I'm going to press this. This is spray starch that I'm using on the back side of my fabric. My iron is nice and heated up. You want to use the hottest iron that you can use for the fabric that you're ironing. And there it is. I think that looks fantastic. That's a beautiful waffle pattern. And it's going to make my dollar store traffic cones look just like a waffle cone. To get the cones ready, lightly sand the outside of the cones and wipe off any residue with a damp cloth. Next, apply spray adhesive to both the cone and the fabric. Then line up the fabric at the top of the cone and come down in a straight line, smoothing as you go around the cone. Add some hot glue to the seam and trim off the excess along the bottom and the seam. I'm pushing that in by hand as much as I can. Now I'm going to run my bead of glue as quickly as I can. I'm holding the seam right here, and I'm going to let this dangle so that I know where the front of the ball is going to be. So here's the front, there's the back, and that'll keep my cone hanging the same direction. I pushed it nice and snug all the way around, and it looks like it's all one piece. It's a cord from the hobby store, and I have run a bead of glue along that seam at the back of my cone and glued that down, and also around the bottom. I also glued down a little piece of fabric to match the rest of the cone. I'm going to use some spray adhesive. This is a mist formula so that it doesn't get all over the place. I have made a little cover because it fits perfectly around the cherry on top, and you can see by all the snow glued around the edge that I've already done all of my other cones. So I'm just gonna spray this around the top of the purple, and now I'm just gonna sprinkle it mostly around that center top, around the cherry, and there we have it. The top of the cone is sugared. And then the most fun of all, hanging them on the tree.